it's so great to be back in here, back at Comic-Con with you guys. I'm so excited about today's panel. Just fucking stoked. Okay, all right, not supposed to curse, but too late. Here we go. It's so incredibly fitting that we inaugurate the final season here in LH for Outlander, because the Outlander fandom is so massive and so passionate. Team Sassenach, assemble. This show has been such an incredible ride, from Scotland to France to the United States. Well, it wasn't the United States when they got there. To America, across oceans of both space and time. Outlander has taken us on a journey of love, commitment, passion, self-sacrifice, and extraordinary adventure, both of the body and of the heart. And now, as that journey hoists its final sail, we are here with the people who have carried us through every battle, every voyage, and every dramatic thrust of the blade, and the hips. To look back and forward to the 8th and final season of Outlander. Give it up. And now, everybody, please welcome to the stage showrunner and executive producer Matthew B. Roberts. Executive producer Maril Davis. Your Roger, Richard Rankin. Brianna, Sophie Skelton. And Sam, who snuck out first. I was going to give you a big James Alexander, Malcolm MacKenzie, Fraser himself, Sam Heughan.
Madame.
All right.
Sorry, we haven't done this before, so.
Yeah. We were told to just come on.
This is your first time.
No, it's not. But
In Hall H, though.
it is in Hall H. Hi, Hall H.
Hi, Hall H.
Good
Wow.
morning, San Diego.
I'll say
I
it
think it's
first.
our first
Holy
time in a
shit.
decade,
Jeez,
so.
look at this.
This
What?
guy just yelled out, "My wife loves you," which I feel is like every guy everywhere on the planet.
I love you too, brother. Is that a...
There needs to be a season 8 Outlander t-shirt that
minion
says, "My
talking
wife
to me?"
loves you."
Yes. We'll get the marketing department on.
I'm right, I'm on it. I've sent some emails already. So one of the things I think that comment just brought up is the idea that, you know, Outlander is this guilty pleasure, this sexy guilty pleasure, but it's not so guilty. It's about really serious subject matter. There's the questions of trauma, bodily autonomy, personal agency, colonialism, self-determination, feminism, the intimacy of both friendship and romantic relationships. And I wonder for all of you, and we'll start with the showrunners first, how has it been navigating that balance between the escapism of the underlying IP of the books and the fantasy of that, and this really intentional way that you've built the show? How has that been to navigate for you guys?
Yeah, Matt. Answer that one.
No, I think in the books themselves, there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of family drama. And, you know, we try to bring that to light, and I think that, you know, in any dynamic, any story dynamic, you're going to hit on those things as you go. Mm-hmm. And it's natural in this, and I think the fantasy in this is that we try to be, you know, maybe 6 inches off the ground with the show, so there is that magic element, but the realism is we try to get all those details right. Yeah. And we want you to come in and feel like you're in the 18th century. We want you to feel like that you're coming out of your living rooms and enjoying escaping for an hour, living in that time period with these characters. And obviously, these great actors have made you fall in love with them over the years, so.
Yeah, absolutely. How has that been for you guys as performers as well? Because there is, you know, I'm gonna start with Sam, actually. Your character has gone through a shit ton of stuff. And I wonder, I mean, just everything, just dying and drowning and everything burning down multiple times. I mean, you've lost a lot, you've gained a lot. Did you know what you were getting into when you said yes to this show?
No, I think also Jamie didn't know what he was getting into. I think if you look back now, he'd be like, if he hadn't met Claire, life would have been so much easier. Like, that woman. But what a wonderful journey it's been on. We were just talking about, you know, the first time we came to Comic-Con. It was just eye-opening for us to see this amazing fandom that you guys, thank you so much. You've been with us this whole journey. So thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, and we've created this amazing family, you know, so it's been hard. You know, we're saying this might be our last Comic-Con, who knows? And it's just been such an amazing journey to go on with these incredible cast and the crew, and of course, amazing writers as well. So we're very thankful.
I mean, I think the same question goes for the rest of the cast. Like, did you know, because this, I mean, the acting is extraordinary on the show, but it's also really physically demanding, and I think it's got increasingly physically demanding over the years.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were fortunate in that we had Diana's amazing books to lean on, so definitely for us coming in after these guys had started the hard work and we could kind of ride the coattails of that, we kind of knew somewhat what we were getting into. But yeah, in terms of the physicality, I mean, our cast and crew are amazing. It's very tough weather conditions. You're covered in mud, and then add in sort of a corset and running and guns and bows and arrows and all of the things. And then even, like you said, some of the more sensitive scenes that we have, like, you know, sexual abuse scenes and stuff, they can be quite physical. So yeah, I think we've all been thrown in the deep end, and I, for one, I'm very grateful because it brought us all closer because it was so tough, and I think it's also put us in good stead for other stuff because I feel like we can all kind of handle anything now. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna posit that same thing to Richard. You were just a nice, like, kind of like guy with his little pockets, little patches on your sweater, little nice teacher guy.
Nice teacher guy.
And your business.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been everything now.
The guy with the pocket square and the bow tie. That's me. Yeah, he started out that way for sure. But I think what Outlander gave us was, you know, a little bit of everything that you really, truly want as an actor, and the challenge of playing these characters, but not only the challenge of playing these characters, but through this evolving time. And the show has never been scared to tell these quite provocative and dangerous stories and the themes that we explore. And with that comes, I think we've all had a good dose of, you know, a really great challenge from season to season. And a great evolution of these characters as well, because you're right, he started off as, you know, just a kind of a mild-mannered, geeky professor, and kind of just finished.
Yeah.
I think your character changed after I beat him.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think after that, Jamie beat some character into you, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
That's
what
it.
it is.
It was Jamie Fraser that did it.
Some character into Roger.
Whereas I think
Yeah.
Brianna was the opposite. I think she was born with this Fraser hot-headedness. She's like throwing shit, hitting people, and now she's like, I will think before I act.
Yes.
That's
Don't
it.
blame Jamie for your bad moods. You take responsible for your own mood swings, Brianna.
Don't make me hit you in front of all these nice people, okay?
That's my daughter. There she is.
I'm sorry, darling.
If you guys ever want to know what a read-through is like, it's just this.
We are truly a family now. It's been a long time, so this actually happens on and off set. It's real.
For Maril and for Matt, just to throw back to the original material, I came to this show without having read the book, so I was very much like, you know, tabula rasa. I got to just enjoy it on its merits. I wonder what that first season was like, what the response from the fandom was like, and how that's evolved over the life of the show as, you know, obviously you've got this material you're always hearkening back to, but the show is its own animal. How has that relationship changed, and how has the fandom's connection to the show maybe either driven choices that you've made, or maybe you've thought to yourself, you know what, we're going to give these guys a little bit of a different ride than they got in the books?
Well, for me, I'll let Maril answer for herself, it was right around season 2 where I started to really understand the connection with the fans. Normally when you make a show, you know, certainly in the past, you didn't have that immediate feedback, which cause sometimes is lovely and sometimes is lovely. And you know, it was after the finale of season 2 that I really understood the connection that our show had with the fans and how it was, you know, important in their lives. And that's when you start, for me as a showrunner, starting to look at what's important, not necessarily what I like all the time, is what the show needs. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really big, it was a really big deciding factor on how the show got crafted. Is I might think something, oh, I don't necessarily like that moment, but it really needs to be in the show. And I think once everybody, you know, when we're in post and when we talk about it, you know, I listen to everybody and their opinions, and it really matters. And then the fans, you know, we're not going to be able to get every single fan's favorite moment from those books. They're just too vast. So we try to do our best. And I think, you know, for the most part, we're here, season 8, you know, we did pretty good.
I love the little Easter eggs you would litter the show with. One of my favorites being Stephen Bonnet's balls on the shelf.
Yeah,
in
I have them
Fatherhood.
in my office if you ever want to see
You
them.
have Stephen Bonnet's balls in your office. Oh, good.
It's just, it's a good thing. I set them there when I have meetings just to remind people. This is what can happen.
That's sad if you don't behave. Yes.
Yeah.
Act better. But there's so many amazing moments and book moments as well,
Yeah.
or book lines that you guys have crafted. And sometimes it would work, and sometimes when Sophie delivered the lines, it didn't work. So we had to
You know, I've
reshoot
got to balance out the talent, you know?
Gotta keep it dynamic. What has been a moment from the books that you felt like you were really able to service in the show? And what has been a moment that you had to omit that people came back and said, wait a minute, this isn't how it happened?
Oh, God. I mean, that's a lot. That's a big question. I mean, what didn't we add? What did we omit? And what, you know, and there's so much. I mean, the books are very rich and detailed, and everybody has their favorite moment. And I think how we break it down is we try to find the big tentpole moments in the books, and we know we have to do those. And, you know, how do we work around those? And then, unfortunately, there's some, you know, other characters that were in the books that drive story that we have to leave out because we just don't have enough room. And I think that's always the problem. You find these moments, and you go, oh, I really want to do that, and you just can't find the time to get there.
Yeah. Is there anything that you mourn, any of you, or Maril, you probably know the books as well.
Honestly, I'm asked this question a lot, and it's so hard because the books, I keep saying, are about 1 million pages long, and it's impossible to get all of that good stuff on the screen. I think the writers have always done such an amazing job balancing. It's easy, you know, Matt said this many times, it's like the book has infinite dollars to spend, infinite sets, everything, because it's a book. So it's impossible to translate that onto the screen. And once again, I think the writers have always done such an amazing job getting the key moments and putting it on. Sure, there's so many things that I'm like, oh, I wish we could have done that storyline and we dropped it. But on a whole, I think it's been very satisfying.
Yeah. It's been really rich.
There were some book lines which were challenging.
You mean like Sam's favorite book line?
My favorite was the time that Matt and myself fell out.
Yep. One time.
Yep. I was floating in a very large bathtub in South Africa, and the line was, "If you die, I'll kill you."
Oh yeah. I remember.
And I had a real problem with that. I just wanted Matt to explain it to me, and
I did over and over again.
and eventually it ended up Katrina and Matt both just screaming at me, "Just say the line," which we did. But I mean, a huge shout out to Diana Gabaldon for writing these amazing books.
I actually have one that throws back to my first Comic-Con at San Diego, and Matt and I actually had a conversation about what Brianna was going to call Jamie, and obviously she has a different paternal word for Frank. But my very first Comic-Con, this woman comes up to me and she goes, "You're the luckiest girl in the world. You're the only person who gets to call both Tobias and Sam Daddy." And so now, whenever Brianna has to be like, "Well, Daddy said," in my head, I'm like, ugh. But it stayed in, Daddy and Papa.
I think along those lines, you know, I went online and I asked fans to say what was a question that they wanted. I got, it broke my phone, but the one that I was able to pluck out before I was overwhelmed was just what's been a really, really memorable experience for you, either in terms of something that you did on, you know, in the narrative space, or just an experience that you had on set with a show that you felt was really transformative, something you're going to look back and think about, this was a really seminal moment for me or my character, or something that really just encapsulates my experience on the show.
Gosh. I mean, I think we've all had so many, like, just to echo what the guys were saying, these characters have grown so much, and we've had the pleasure of playing them for 10 years, and to speak for myself, I mean, to play Brianna over different time periods and different ages. I think she spanned from like 16 to, how old is she now? 30 something, yeah. And so, but I think one of the most poignant things for me was probably seeing how she handled her scenario with Stephen Bonnet and going back to the jail and talking to him, and actually just the influx of stories from people and fans who reached out and said how much it meant to them and sort of how much they could find guidance from that was just really beautiful for me. And I think that's one big takeaway from the show. I think we do have such passionate fans, and people come and tell you stories about their life that they might not have told anyone else before, and actually just to see what an impact a show not only had at the beginning but still has this long on is actually just really rewarding. So thank you to you guys for trusting us with your stuff too.
I'd like to hear from everybody. I'd like to just hear like that moment that really sticks out in your head in terms of your experience.
Come on, Richard.
Being hanged.
Richard.
What?
Was it working?
I was being
with-
hanged.
Was it working
that
with me?
the one?
When you
Where
met
are
me.
we?
Are we still talking about memorable moments?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I zoned out for a second there. I'm joking. No, it was
Doing all the
nothing
hit
to do.
today.
No, because I was just thinking back to when we started in season 2, when Sophie and I started in season 2, we went through all of, the rest of that, and then all of season 3 in a completely different time zone. So we were in the 60s. So we only really heard tell of the stuff that went on in the 18th century with Jamie Fraser and, all of the clans. So it felt quite sort of mythical, and all the stories that, we're hearing and exploring in our timeline. So it felt like when we went back in season 4, that felt like a really pivotal moment, because it felt like we were going back to join this big adventure back in time. So it felt there was sort of something quite sort of tangible about that, only to get there and have my face smashed in by Jamie Fraser.
That was memorable
Because
for all
I think
of us,
Roger had
Richard.
really... Huh?
That was memorable for all of us.
That was very memorable, yeah. It was very excessively violent and bloody, so much so they had to bring it down a notch. But I remember, I was thinking Roger's probably built this up in his head, this first time that he goes back to meet his father-in-law, and they're going to really hit it off, and they're going to be down, in Williamstown in the tavern, playing golf, having a pint.
No,
and he
we'll
just
just back
immediately
Yeah.
asked no questions, smashes the poor guy's
he probably
face.
deserved it, but
He,
welcome to the family, son.
I suppose it was a bit of an initiation, but...
I did
no.
hit him back for you if it's any
You
consolation.
did, and I appreciate
What was fun in post, we were going, add another punch. No, one more. No, take away. No, one more. No, one more.
It was a lot. It was a lot. I felt like everyone was taking a little bit of something out on me that day.
It was funny when everyone was
Did-
lining up to
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crew got
I didn't know
involved.
everyone was going to take a hit. I was like, is this in the story?
It was
Like,
all
yeah.
Like the scene
This is
from
what
Airplane?
happens, Roger.
Yeah.
How about for you, Maril?
It's so hard. I mean, we've been here since the beginning, and I would say, something about season 8 was, for me, the saddest, but also the most emotional and kind of satisfying. We kind of kicked off the read-through, and usually in read-throughs, like the producers and writers sit on one side and the actors sit on the other so we can see everyone. But we kind of mixed it up this last year, and I was sitting next to Sam, and I was like, I'm not going to cry.
Stop, here we go.
I'm going to hold in. And we started going around, and we got to Lauren Lyle, and she announced her name. She said, Marsley Jane McKimmey Fraser. And she said it with such pride, because it was the last time. And I just started to well up. And by the time we got around to my introduction, I was full on crying. I had a Peter Brady Bunch moment. And I just think from there, I did not stop crying all of season 8. I think it was so emotional for all of us. We've all been through so much together. We've had kids, gotten married. There have been so many life moments. And Richard and I were talking about this last night. It's been a career and personal defining moment for all of us. So I think this last season was it was bittersweet, but it was also the most memorable.
Yeah.
How about you, Ma? We're going to save you for last.
I think for me, I think we're lucky, all of us, is that you watch an episode of Outlander, and for all of us up here, it's kind of like a home movie, because we see the scenes, but then we remember, I remember what we were doing. I remember the rainstorm we had to stand in, or I remember, driving into the Highlands to do that, or the moments, or being in a tank, me yelling at him, please just say the line, Sam, please just say the line. And it's just like we have 100 hours of home movies and that's what's memorable to me. We can always turn it on and remember what we did together.
Matt is very patient with actors, and he always likes to give them a moment to sort of, to explore the process, because he's aware that every actor's very different. And just another story in season 2, you probably remember this. Sophie and I had not long started, and there's a scene where we're filming in the car by Loch Katrin. And they'd already started rolling, they'd already started turning over, action.
Which we didn't know.
But we hadn't heard it. So Sophie and I were in this really in-depth conversation about whether or not dead bodies float. Right?
Because,
and I mean, we were having a proper debate about it, and you can see Matt through the windshield, and he's kind of standing. He's like, I think this is just what how they do it. And for the longest time, like 5 minutes, camera's just rolling on us, and we were just talking absolute nonsense. I don't think we ever really resolved it, but Matt was so patiently waiting just to get to the scene. It was like...
I think he thought we were trying to get in character, but we were, for context, we were by a loch, and we were like, I wonder how many dead bodies are in there.
Pissing the rain,
What was the conclusion?
We didn't actually get to it, so if anyone has an answer...
Dead bodies
They don't know.
But then we just hear Matt yell,
nothing
cut.
has changed since, by the way.
Yeah.
That was actually a really fun day of driving in the snow and picnics and rain, and we were doing. Well, you weren't there, so.
I know, yeah, basically. Speaking of driving, Sophie, how is that going?
Why are you looking at me?
Richard was
don't have to talk about
notoriously the
driving.
worst driver on the show, right?
The best driver on the show.
Yeah, well, remember we were filming a scene and it was dead quiet, and Richard took the car about 200 yards away, and
A very old car. We have to give proper context. It's a very, very
Double
old
clutch.
double clutch, 1960s Cortina.
it was sorry, yes.
Difficult to
we
drive.
were in the 60s. Sophie and Katrina and Maril and I were, they were ready, waiting, and we called action, and it's dead silent. We're out in the middle of nowhere, and we hear. We're like, cut. We can't use that. It was brilliant.
It was funny.
But to be fair, none of our actors can drive, so it's not just...
I think what Sam was referring to is last season, I, again, was in an old car, and I hit some black ice, and nearly destroyed Lalaroch.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
The home
yeah.
of Jamie
Oh,
Fraser.
I don't think you knew about that, yeah.
Oh,
Just,
wow.
almost
Yeah. But
destroyed.
I got it
didn't-
back, but it was spinning out. I was
Yeah,
like, cool,
you guys
cool.
were almost about to have to rebuild it.
So,
Wow.
But
yeah.
I mean, to
Was
be
it like, don't tell Matt, don't tell Matt?
Don't tell Matt. To be
Yeah.
fair, go back to the 1700s. Ever tried riding a cart?
Yes.
Those things are
Because
pretty
he
difficult. Didn't you crash a cart?
Didn't you
Do you know?
crash one?
No, I'm
No, you
good. I'm
definitely
good with the
cra- oh, was
cart
it John
driving.
Bell? Was it
John
JB?
Bell.
John Bell
JB,
crashed a
yeah.
cart.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting in my trailer for the next scene, and they were like, it's going to be a while because they've all fallen in a ditch and the cart's upside down. I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
He
Those
crashed
carts are
a cart into a fallen tree, and upturned the cart. I
Yeah.
bailed long before that. I saw it happening, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting out now.
So if anyone needs a personal driver, you know where to find us, because clearly.
I think one of the Browns boys also flipped a cart as well.
Yeah, see, this is where Diana has it easy. She says, brown boy drives a cart, and then it just happens. See, we have, yeah.
Time travel is tough, you guys.
It's hard.
What about you? What's been your most
It's really hard because there's so many seminal moments from the show, and I think coming back, as Matt said, season 2 was kind of amazing. So you're like, oh right, actually we're doing this. This is successful. But I think it's, as Matt said, those moments, and Outlander's always traveling. We're always in these amazing locations, and so those moments, we're talking about South Africa, all being together.
Oh, you went to South Africa?
Yeah, we did. It was
Oh,
really
We
fun.
never
We
hear
didn't
about
know
it.
that. You never mention it.
Prague was
Was
really
it
fun.
sunny and you were on the beach drinking wine?
You were, yeah, lovely.
It was so hard.
Prague was the same as well. It was lovely, but I don't think you were there either. Were you?
No, we
Prague?
went to Boston, which was in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't there.
Yeah, we went to some lovely places.
Yeah. They didn't go to Versailles when we did Versailles.
No, not Versailles either. Oh well.
We're
it
not
was fun.
bitter. It's fine.
You guys should come next time. But I think just seeing the last season, actually seeing the development of the character as well, seeing Jamie Fraser now being more fragile, having more to lose, having lost Claire about 50 times. He knows what it is to lose her, and he will do anything to stop to stop happening again. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey to go with them, and obviously to go to beautiful locations without these two is also really special.
Yeah, I feel like in season 7, spoiler alert, I feel like in season 7 when something very terrible happens to Claire, like I just want to see him be like, oh, come on!
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anything that could happen to a family, we've had it.
It has happened 3 or 4 times. There have been so many endings on the show, apropos of that last comment. So many losses, deaths, attacks. The loss of everybody's home is burned down, I feel like, twice.
Thanks to matches.
Yeah, you guys, you innovate, all right? You can't control how the tool is used, man. You know, you're visionary.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
So I guess I wonder how, and I think that maybe has prepared the audience for the eventual ending of the show, because they've seen so many endings for these characters and they've seen them bounce back so much. So how, we already heard how you guys are dealing with the ending of the show because you already filmed it, but how do you think the fans are gonna, you know what the ending is, how do you think the fans are gonna respond to this ending without giving anything away?
It's ending?
What?
Wait, what?
I'm actually under NDA at this point.
Yeah. Maril? Matt?
Yeah, no, I love the Comic-Con
Richard?
question. We're like, tell us something about the show that I know you can't tell us.
No, Richard has loose lips, so we double NDA'd him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has not seen the last episode.
How does it end, Richard?
I think, well,
Yes.
let me tell you. It ends well.
Does it?
No.
I mean, people are prepared for it. I think as a fandom, we're all prepared because we've seen the characters go through so much. I guess this might be...
Wait, hold on. Are you prepared for it?
Well, I'm not saying you want it. I'm just saying that, like, our bodies are ready. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think no.
I don't think you're ready for
No.
this. No.
Grow up.
It's hard because we obviously didn't finish the books, and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you know, how do you tie up
How
all of
can
these stories and make a satisfying ending? And I think we all wanted to come back and give something that felt satisfactory, and we still don't know how it ends really. It's kind of a secret. Richard.
Richard?
Yeah.
We
But,
definitely didn't tell Richard.
But you have lots to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
You have a new show as well. You have Blood of My
Yeah.
Blood. So I think there's also a lot to be excited for.
The world is continuing. Well, I think this is a really good time to ask Matt about season 8 again. How do you top the previous 7 seasons? How do you outdo the scope and the intensity and the drama? You guys have over-delivered every season, and I just watched everything again. And so you're really struck when you watch it all together, how much has gone down for these characters. How do you top that?
Well, I think one thing that's beautiful about this season is, as Matt and Maril said before, we've sort of surpassed the books at this point, and so the writers have done such an incredible job of just kind of keeping that nostalgia, as you can see from that clip, but also just injecting some stuff that you just don't expect. And so I think the main thing is just that you've got to prepare to be unprepared, and like you said, we're trying to top an amalgamation of amazing stories. We said the characters have been through pretty much everything you can imagine, and so we're just gonna surprise you.
I think we've already done it all in every other season, as you could see there. So we do nothing. Nothing happens this season. We'll have a cup of tea and just sit down and.
Yeah, as you see, Jamie's just sat in bed reading.
Yeah, I'm just
that's
reading
it.
in bed a lot.
I think, the idea for the last season was to not try to top everything we've done, to just do a really good season of Outlander and make it work, make sure the stories work, and give the characters time to do what they do well. They emote, they spend times together, they they deal with the conflicts in front of them. And instead of trying to make it something it wasn't, just to do Outlander. And I think we accomplished that, and hopefully you guys feel the same way when you see it.
It was a very, very hard season to shoot, I think. There was so many emotions going around, and I think, day to day, you'd be like, oh, this is just another day at work. We've been doing this 11 years. And, but then other days, you'd be like, this is the last time I'm going to work with this person or put on this costume or whatever. So it was, but it made the last season very charged, I think. And a lot of scenes are very charged. But that all adds to this very dramatic storyline anyway. So it's more Outlander, just mega XL version.
Yeah, and if you see us crying in a scene where we're not supposed to, I think you were the one who would break me the most. You'd see
Oh my
Maril
God,
crying.
I cried all season, honestly. I feel bad because I also had the pleasure of wrapping out all the actors at the end. And wrapping out means, like, if it's your last day on set, you go, everybody, Richard Rankin, last day on set. And but this was like last day on set forever. And so I just literally cried every time I wrapped
Richard
somebody up.
was wrapped,
Of
and
course.
everyone cheered, and then a week later he was back on set
Yeah.
working again.
For
I think-
reshoots.
Rewrap.
Weren't you wrapped a few
There was
times?
a lot of rapping happening. I think I rapped like 3 times, yeah. Yeah, which was horribly anticlimactic. But yeah, season 8 was basically punctuated with the tears of Maril Davis.
Seriously.
Just erupted.
But I will say, as a fan, I think I have seen the last episode, and I feel like no matter what happens, we're all sad it's over. So that will never go away. But I, as a fan, was very satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, again, like having watched the show, you know, when it first came out and then rewatching everything, the one thing you guys really over-deliver on is emotion. You know what I mean? It's always super emotionally sad. I mean, I just turned into like an old black lady at church. I'm like, no, Jamie, don't do it, no!
I'd like to watch with your like narrative,
Yeah,
your
I
voice.
Just put a
Sure.
camera on you watching
I'm
Outlander.
like, she loves you, man. She thought she was dead.
Everybody
She
says.
did what she had to do, Jamie. Come on.
You did what?
Do you have Gogglebox in the US?
No.
So good.
It's basically where you film people watching a TV show, and you would be amazing on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Be like-
I'm happy to
here
do an
for that.
Outlander
Yeah.
rewatch where I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
scream
yeah.
at the show the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
time.
I have
yeah.
you and Maril on the
Yeah.
tears of Maril Davis on the
Yeah.
other side.
Seriously.
For the Scots, and actually also for the non-Scots, this was something that I thought was really interesting. How much did you know about Highlander culture? I mean, growing up in Scotland, and then, I mean, obviously for the Americans, we barely know what's going on here. So,
Look how confused they look right now.
no idea.
What?
But yeah, how much did you know about Highlander culture, about Scottish culture when you joined the show? And was there something about recreating that world that surprised you or delighted you or informed your own like modern Scottish experience?
Oh yeah, we knew everything.
no, it was funny actually, because I'm part Scottish too, but I remember when we were doing season 2, and even when we went to Loch Katrine, I was like, oh, I've been here before, because every year as a kid, I would go to Scotland for the summer. And Richard was like, I think you've seen more of my own country than I have. So, but I feel like when we had the scenes where we did the fair, what was it called? Brianna and Roger, season 4, where we go to the fair,
The fair.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And,
fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
North
Highland
Carolina.
The Highland Games
The Highland
fair.
Games. Yes, the Highland Games. Yes.
Yeah.
So clearly I learned a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like we learned a lot when we were there, and I really felt like we were at one, which was not my first time, but I feel like it was yours? Nope.
That was in North Carolina, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's been amazing has been has been learning about history and Scottish history, but also the show has moved now to America and the American history, and that for us was very new. So I think it's been, you know, a really happy learning
Very
experience.
enlightening.
Some of us
all
retained
of it.
more than others, I
Yeah.
think.
Sorry, what?
Is this water, or are we...
I know loads. I know loads about Scottish history. I'm your guy. If you need to know anything about Scotland.
You've been putting on that accent for about 10 years now.
I really do want to get a real answer to this question. But maybe was there something that you guys plucked out? I mean, obviously a lot of that came through the books, but when you were researching for the show, was there something that you plucked out? You thought, this is really exciting. We want to deliver on this moment, this cultural touch point.
I mean, I'm going to just say, like, Culloden is such a huge pivotal moment for Jamie and Claire, but all the Highlanders. Obviously, you know, it's the end of this kind of culture, this Highland culture. A lot of Scots left and emigrated. They went to America, and you start seeing, you know, the beginnings of these new colonies in the New World. And I think that was a really sort of pivotal moment for our storyline, I think.
Yeah, well, it's not really, it wasn't depicted in the books that way, and you know, we really wanted to do it, and you know, Ron really wanted to do it, and he actually wrote that episode. So I think digging into it, we need to show it, I think, and that was the decision. You know, it was the right decision to show Jamie and you know, Blackjack finally end it. And
Yeah.
It was really cool too.
Yeah.
Rather than just hear about it later.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I will also say, I mean, I'm not Scottish. I kind of wish I was right now. But I think that introducing the Gaelic language again, or reintroducing a language that maybe is not spoken as much, I think is something that we're really proud of. That I don't know if it's coming back, but it was great to actually show that in the show and have those moments. I think that's something that I was not as aware of, the heritage and the language, and so I think those kind of little details, I think, are something we love to show.
Yeah, did any of you speak any Gaelic before you did the show?
Oh, fluent. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we were speaking it actually backstage right before this.
Yeah.
We had certainly in the early seasons we had large scenes of Gaelic, and you know, some of us were more dedicated students than others. I remember McTavish having big idiot boards, we call them, with it written, and Duncan Lacroix just made up his Gaelic. I mean, he literally just gobbledygook. It was very funny, but no, again, like brilliant, because you know that's their first. Well, certainly Jamie Fraser's first language.
Yeah.
So there were little mannerisms that we tried to keep, and then obviously you know that progresses as they move to America and changes them. But yeah, at the heart, Jamie Fraser's definitely still a Scotsman at heart.
Yeah. Oh God, I just want to ask you guys so many questions about season 8, but I don't get to do it. I just don't get to do it. I want to know if they go back to Scotland. Okay, never mind. They're literally, gave me some questions. They're like, what can you tell me about season 8? I've tried every single way to ask these questions. Yeah. I have done my best, America. Are we doing Q&A? I want to make sure. Do we have people lined up for Q&A? No, there's no mics. Never mind, don't get excited.
Yeah, there's people.
They're over there.
Oh, excellent.
Do not
Okay,
ask
good.
what
Well,
happens in season 8.
Yeah.
Are we going to be queued for questions? Because I think that now is the time to start queuing for questions. So while everybody's getting ready, I will. Well, no, let's just load. I don't want to run out of time, so let's just go for it. Hi, look at that outfit. Wow. What's your name? Oh, everybody knows her. Oh my God, that's amazing. All right, go for it.
They call me Button Lady.
Wow.
That's great.
Button lady.
I have this is my Lord of the Rings and Hobbit. So Grandma Tavish is on this cape somewhere.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Miss Tyler, you're a phenomenal comedian and actress. I just want to say that to start. For the actors,
God, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was for you.
For the actors, my question was, do you ever get tired or bothered by Americans telling you how to be more Scottish on screen?
I love that.
I think it's amazing because I obviously over the years being a Scotsman, and you see Americans coming and Canadians coming to Scotland, and they're like, I'm Scotch, and you're like, well, are you really? But then I was thinking about it, I'm like, of course they are. You know, only a generation or two ago, these people, their great-great-grandparents, whatever, left. And I think there is like this inherited feeling, this feeling that we've talked about, dulchas, the Gaelic word for like the feeling of belonging to the land. And I think that's what you guys have when you come to Scotland. It's like something very familiar, and you can't place it, but it's a connection to the land and to the people. And I think it's a memory that's maybe passed down through generations.
Yeah.
Roger doesn't
Scotch.
need to be told to be more Scottish. He's perfectly Scottish, as he just established. Richard, I called you Roger. Oh my God, that's a director. When directors calling actors their character names, I'm the worst. Richard, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, next question.
Hi, Matt, Sam, Sophie, Richard,
Hi.
Marilyn, Aisha.
Hi.
My name is Brittany, and my question is for Sam. One of the most emotionally impactful episodes of any series I've ever seen is Season 2's Faith, where Claire and Jamie lose their first daughter. Even though you weren't in the scene where Claire sings to baby Faith, my question is, what did you go through emotionally, personally, as Sam Heughan when you saw the episode for the first time, especially since Jamie's duel was a contributing factor? And given those emotions, how did you feel when you read the script for the last season finale's cliffhanger?
Wow. Yes. Well, firstly, an amazing performance by Katrina in season 2.
Yeah.
And the loss of faith. Wonderful, really amazing, very heightened. And obviously, Jamie's in prison. He's gone to duel blackjack. But yes, I don't know if obviously, has anyone seen the end of season 7? I mean,
yes.
There's perhaps a song there that then gives us the jumping off point for season 8. So we're going to explore that, the faith of it all, perhaps. It's really intriguing, and I think for Jamie and Claire, it's mind-blowing, and their world is about to change very differently. So yeah, and for me personally as well, it was.
Look, you got a little bit about season 8.
There you go.
It's so exciting.
Talking around spoilers. Yeah.
Crumbs. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Margaret Teichert, and I'm such a fan of the books initially. And Aisha, you're an amazing moderator for this panel, because I had to rewrite my question like 3 times. You asked all the great things, and I so appreciate it. Thank you. This show has really kind of highlighted Scottish culture in a way to Americans. Like, by example, I had never even heard of the Battle of Culloden, and it was just stunning. And I know so many people in my circles have decided to go to Scotland because of this. And I love Men in Kilts, by the way.
Thank you.
And I wondered if you could talk about how it has impacted like your own Scottishness. Like, for those of you, and I know you've asked this sort of, Aisha, and if there's a way that you feel more deeply connected to Scotland because of this show.
Yes, I think we've been very fortunate, haven't we, like filming all over Scotland and seeing amazing locations. And I think, I mean, the question for you guys is like, what would be your favorite location you've been on?
I mean, I honestly think Kenlochranach and where we are near the Stones, there is just, as Sam said before, there's something about Scotland where you just feel like you belong to the land, and it does feel like one, and it's very welcoming in that way, despite its sort of it's rough weather, I suppose. Words are escaping me. But actually, yeah, Kenlochranach, where the stones are, is just incredible, and there's this incredible stillness on the land, and it's if you can really feel the history through your feet and through the soil, and it really helps with performances and just with connecting to everyone who has been there or fallen there, and you really do feel the years and years span through that, and so that's a really special place, I think. Not just because of what we filmed there, but because of how it feels.
Some of the like castles we've shot in, or Culross, you know, the village. It's like you don't have to do any acting because it's all there. There's so much history and weight of, you know, people that have gone before us. But we're very lucky because Scotland really has like so much to offer in terms of locations.
Sometimes you just don't know what's on your own doorstep.
Yeah.
And Outlander absolutely opened my eyes to Scotland and some of the locations that we went to, because I don't think I'd really spent enough time or given enough of my time to Scotland before starting on it. And then, Kenlochranach, Lochcatran, and some of the places that we went to in season 2 through 3 really, really opened my eyes. And I now spend a lot more time exploring my own country. It's beautiful.
I remember there was a time at Kenlochranach, and we were filming, I can't remember which scene, going through the stones, one of the many times. And the moon was so incredibly beautiful that I think it was Matt, he was like, this looks fake. We're going to have to cover the real moon and make a fake moon. And honestly, just sometimes the stars and when you get this beautiful lack of air pollution and clear skies and just the stars and the moon, the way it all is just incredible.
And then it's so raining and cold and dark, and there's midges and it's shit.
Yes. Yeah.
So come to Scotland.
Yeah.
That's not on the brochure.
Now you know why they drink so much whiskey there.
Yeah. Or the storms, and it'll break the stones in half, which did happen.
Well, I hate to say this, and I'm so sorry, but we are about to run out of time, and I know, and we have a special treat for everybody, and I want to have enough time to deliver the special treat, other than the magical treat that you just experienced with this cast and
there's a season 9.
I have personally greenlit season 9. You're welcome. So first, I want to say that, as you know, season 1 through 7 of Outlander are available right now to binge on STARZ. I highly recommend to get your bodies ready for the 8th and final season, which will be coming in early 2026. Please put your hands together for our incredible, incredible group of creatives behind this show. Matt Roberts, Sam Heughan, Sophie Skelton, Skelton, Richard Rankin, Maril Davis. Give it up for them, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Yes, Matt wants to say something. Matt wants to say something special.
I just want to say thank you to all of you. You have made this possible. Really, we would still be on making season 1, and that would have been it. But thank you for your loyalty, your passion. It has meant everything to all of us. We wouldn't be sitting here without you, so we really do thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, Aisha, for an amazing panel.
Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes, my pleasure. Now, you guys go backstage because we're going to drink whiskey.
Great. Oh, great.
Yeah, run.
That's what we're doing.
But save me some, please. And I am going to stay out here just to let you guys know how much I love Comic-Con, how much I love you, how much I love Hall H. I'm so happy to be back. And in the spirit of Outlander, which is the twistiest, turniest show in the history of television, I have one last twist for all of you. Please put your hands together. Now, let me actually say really quickly, I did watch like the whole show like over the last couple weeks to get ready for this because I wanted to remember everything. And that Skyboat song is like inside of my pelvis. Do you know what I mean? Like I wake up singing it. I can't stop singing it. It's haunting my dreams. And so is apropos that we have here today, I need sleep, the performer of the original Skyboat theme song, Ryan Yarbrough! Give it up for Raya, everybody!
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I? Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to sky. Billow and breeze, islands and seas, mountains of rain and sun. All that was good, all that was fair, all that was me is gone. Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I? Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to sky.